imagine being an aspiring woman artist in a man's world? Barbara Kruger worked tirelessly through years to voice her unique art style in this up-and-coming art industry. Her art focuses on technology, political dynamics, death, violence, misogyny, and feminism. Hi, my name is Tamy Hernandez, and today I will be discussing my artist, Barbara Kruger. First, I will be discussing Barbara Kruger as a person and how she became the artist she is today. Then, I will discuss two of her famous artwork. First, I will discuss Barbara Kruger as a person and an artist. Barbara Kruger is an American born in New Jersey in 1945. Barbara, like any aspiring artist, started from the bottom and worked her way to the top. She did not originally think that she would be an artist. From her adolescence, Kruger was fascinated by poetry, writing, and art. She majored in writing during her time in Syracuse University, as stated in the Art Story Modern Art Insight webpage. While in college, she enrolled in art and design classes. After a year in Syracuse, she moved to New York to pursue more advanced art classes in Parsons School of Art and Design. In her early training, while in Parsons, Kruger instructors were American photographer Diane Arbus and Marvin Israel, a graphic designer. According to the Art History Archive, Israel in particular made a huge impact in Kruger, encouraging her to prepare a professional portfolio after she was being disappointed by art school. At the time of her training, she focused on architectural photography, painting, crafts, and erotic imagery. After leaving her mentors behind, she found jobs in the art field. After college, her jobs were ranged in work as a designer, editor, and she joined many publications based in New York. For example, House of Garden, Aperture were places of employment for Kruger. She also did magazine layouts, book jackets, and designs, and freelance picture editing. Within a year after all her hard work of graphic designing, art editing, and picture editing, she became head designer at her job in New York. In 1973, Kruger received her first big break when curator Marcel Tucker selected several of her works for the Whitney Biennial exhibit. Her earliest work dates back to 1969 and is influenced by her time as a graphic designer. Also, she created installations compressed of video, film, audio, and projections in artwork. Her artwork appeared on billboards, posters, films, and train stations all over France. In her trademark art, there are black letters against a slash of a red background. Some of her insanely recognizable slogans read, "I shop, therefore I am," and "Your body's a battleground." In the 1970s, she began teaching at the California Institute of Art and the University of California, Berkeley. Kruger also went back to her interest in the written word and poetry. She began writing and performing her own poetry and narratives while still pursuing painting. Her love for poetry and language became so great that she even wrote and published 2 books. First being Remote Control, and second, Thinking of You. In most of her work, she uses words and image to create a response from her audience. By the early 1980s, Kruger became more ambitious in both her use of rhetoric and imagery. Her artwork continued to include phrases that explored issues of social power dynamics, technology, death, violence, and the human condition, often portrayed in the form of abstract concepts. Her use of red, white, and black palette and clear typography is influenced by authentics of the Russian constructivism Alex Rodenko. Kruger's authentics are among the most recognizable of contemporary artists. Kruger's wide variety of work, from her early paints to her magazine covers and even her t-shirt designs, have ensured that she will and continue to have a wide influence on artists and non-artists alike. Now that we have learned about Barbara Kruger, I will discuss 2 of her famous artwork. Barbara made many famous artwork, the first being a photograph labeled Perfect. Perfect, made in 1980, portrays the torso of a woman hands clasped in prayer, evoking the Virgin Mary. As stated in the Smithsonian, portraying the embodiment of submissive femininity, the word perfect is embezzled along the lower edge of the image. I always say I try to make my work about how we are to one another, she told Interview magazine. Her artwork exemplifies the feminist recuperation of craft during the time. Much of her text questions the view about feminism, classism, consumerism, and individual anatomy and desire. Not all of Kruger's artwork is photographs. She also made a white painted fiberglass, which depicts J. Edgar Hoover and Ray Cohen, two right-wing political figures who hide their homosexuality. In partial drag kissing one another, Kruger highlights the conspiracy of silence that enabled both of these figures to assure social and political power. Kruger's art forces you to think twice about cliches and catchphrases, introducing ironies into cultural idealisms and the conventional wisdom that they enabled into our brains. Kruger dissects contemporary culture in her unique art, often targeting multiple oppressions and hypocrisies. From Barbara Kruger's beginning in art and famous artworks to her techniques, to her teaching in California, she remains an influential place in the history of feminist, postmodern, and conceptual art. Today, I discuss Barbara Kruger as a person, and I discuss two of her famous artwork. In conclusion, remember that art is a way of expression. That is exactly how Barbara Kruger uses her art. She expresses social consumerism, idealism, and sexism and other topics through her art. Lastly, I will leave you with a quote from Barbara Kruger herself. I mean, making art is about objectifying your experience of the world, transforming the flow of moments into something visual or textual or musical. Art creates a kind of commentary. Thank you.